Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's still morning, but only just 11:55 a.m. on the 20th of February 2024. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. I've just been out filling up the bird bath for the birds to swim in, which I let dry out for the last few days, and I notice a little Indian myna bird looking at me. They tell me off, those little ones. They tell me what needs doing, not non-verbally, telepathy of some kind. And they look at me and they do a little shake, and then they look at the little, spa. It's an old shower stall. They look at it and they look at me, and if there's water in it but it's not clean, they yell at me, tweet, 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 flat, 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 and they literally yell at me and tell me off. So this little one wasn't yelling at me because there was no water in the little shower stall thingy that I use. But she was like, and then sort of did a kind of a dust bath, but looked at me as to say, I'd rather have a water bath, please. Okay, message received, loud and clear. I'll get in and I'll scrub that thing out and fill it up with fresh water. And when I came back out to turn the hose off, there were all crows hanging around looking forward to their swim. So it's delightful, it's sacred space. When you live in service to the gods, or in my case, literally in service to the wild birds, a bit like how I said the other day, I'm Snow White. When you live in service to all that is, was and ever shall be, you get little messages from the wild ones saying, can you help me with this and can you help me with that? And it's actually delightful, and I'm fortunate that I can provide them a bit of fresh water and clean their little bath out and make sure that they have everything that they need water-wise, literally. Had a visit from my friend Morris yesterday from just getting a call, which is inconvenient. Anyway, sorry, I get distracted. Yeah, I had a visit from Morris, and he'd been to the curbside collection, and he brought me this container full of all this costume jewellery. Some of it's a bit kind of rotten and I had to throw a bit out, but I've been gathering up things that could be used or reused for craft. And so I spent the evening working till 3 a.m. on that, just why I'm a little bit tired, people. And yes, so I slept until 10 a.m. this morning, set my alarm because I have to take my tablet at 10 a.m. I was going to crawl back into bed, but after I got up and took my tablet and my vitamin D and my folic acid, I thought, I'm up now, might as well get up and get dressed. So if I seem a bit floundery or flubbery or, moving in and out of ordinary reality, bear in mind I was up peeing all night as well and not sleeping, and situation normal, my new reality, which is going to be this way for quite some time. And it's not pleasant, people, but I'm making the best of each day that comes my way. So it was very nice to see Morris. I haven't seen Morris. He's never been to my home before, so he was terribly excited looking around at everything, and it was quite sweet, really. And I haven't actually seen him physically with my eyeballs in, a few years, really. I've seen him on Facebook and photos and, videos he puts up, and it's been the same. He sees me that way, but it was nice to actually sit and have a coffee with him and have a chat, and talking about old antics at the casino, which used to be quite hilarious. And so I got to thinking when I got up this morning that it's been a week of rather unusual events, like seeing my friend Jojo, who I hadn't seen for quite some years either, in physical 3D reality, and also a friend from the casino in Irish Murphy's days, as Morris's too. And she turned up last week yelling at me to get out of my garden, come and talk to her, which I did. Happy to see her. And then I had that unusual visit from the young couple that just moved in around the corner, bringing me a loaf of bread. And then yesterday, Jared, Morris bringing me all this jewellery that he'd found in the curbside collection and wanted me to have, which was very heartfelt and sweet, you know. So it's been, connections with people from the past and new people too. So quite delightful. That's all I have to say about that. Charlie's outside. I put her out in the garden, and I thought about making a video sitting under the tree in the garden, but it's too flaming humid out there. So I'm in with the air conditioning and carrying on as per normal people. And today's memories from 20th of February 2024 is entitled Processing the Systemic Abuses. Bear in mind these are titles, some of these titles are 2 or 3 years old, and I can't change them, so I just, who cares? So that's today's title, so it will probably be very heavy, so if you're not up for it, go and hug your cat or hug your pillow or hug your beloved humanoids in your life and think of me fighting on in my life as I've done every day, fighting for my body autonomy, fighting for my freedom, fighting for my sanity in a world gone completely mad, fighting for my fantastical, sometimes nonsensical, absurdist dream of true love with a truly loving partner, fighting for my very existence on planet Earth one day at a time against my own health issues, fighting for life, l'chaim. It's beautiful, but exhausting and at times terrifying. Just saying. 20th of February 2023. Yesterday afternoon I attended Belinda Daniels' toning circle. Belinda Daniels runs the West End Drumming Circle that meets once a month, and it's quite delightful. And but she also started up a toning circle which I attended a year ago on today's date. And I write here, it was a lovely experience. There were 9 of us in total. The energy really was quite intense. I saw a spirit walk in behind one of the participants when he arrived. It was wearing a long white robe, which I later realised was a vestment like one of the church elders wears. They were hanging in a small room adjoining where we were sitting in the hall, because we met at the church that Bill and Belinda actually belong to and are members of that congregation. So I can't remember the name of the church now, but it's in St Lucia, near where Belinda lives. So although I had not noticed them until after I saw the spirit, so that was a bit astonishing, because I don't usually have clairvoyance things happening, very rarely, and certainly when I'm at a toning circle on church grounds. But I've noticed the last time I had an entity approach me I was on hallowed Christian church grounds too, at the big church in West End, big uniting church, where I used to do ecstatic dance. So yeah, they seem to seek me out, the spirits, when I'm on Christian grounds, which is kind of interesting since I'm not a Christian. Probably coming to see if I'm a threat or not, or probably know that I was actually raised in that faith as a little girl and that I pretty much dislike it now. And probably again recognising my spirit and just showing me that they're around, you know. Not in a threatening way at all, in fact quite welcoming, but still it's astonishing to see entities when you don't normally see them. Took me a bit by surprise. Here I write, it's very unusual for me to see entities. I mean, I am not usually clairvoyant and usually just get somatic sensations. Somatic means sensations in your body, somatizing. So I'll get chills, or I'll suddenly get very, very hot and like a hot flush. Or I will have a feeling of sludge wash over me, like sticky, oozy sludge, which happens every time I run into Dave out on the road, which fortunately is rare, but I somatize their energies, and he's a living person, so I do it with living persons too. But it's a bit weird when there's no one around and you know it's a spirit and you can't see them, but you're somatizing their distress or their intentions to try and make contact with you, and you're like, nah, fool, I have not opened up to your realm, so do not approach me uninvited, kind of thing. So, yeah, so I usually just get somatic sensations or get song lyrics or melodies running through my head, or, occasionally actual words or, phrases or messages. But they very often, my spirit people will get my attention by running a song lyric through my head, and it's often something that I don't always recognise the song. So then I spend sometimes an hour or two frantically Googling, trying to figure out what the song is and what the message is, and that's annoying because it takes up my time. It's a waste of my time, right? But they certainly have got my attention if they've got me curious enough to look for what the message is. And at times it can be quite comical and delightful, Like the day I ran into Dave, I was actually warned earlier in the morning with the song No Aphrodisiac Like Loneliness. And then when I actually saw that he was behind me in the car, Jesse's Girl was playing on my radio. I was like, oh, this is a peak emotional experience for one or both of us, because the spirits were like, cop that, girlfriend. Which I copped it very bloody well, did I not? I will not be intimidated by any man, woman, child, or spirit. But they do like to have their little games, just to keep them alive, I suppose, keep them fresh, keep them entertained. But I don't mind cute little fun things like that, but don't allow it when they start getting malevolent people. That gets shut down very fucking quickly. And yes. Anyway, here I write, or weird emotions, i.e. anxiety or euphorias that I know are not mine, as they are incongruent to my actual mood in that time and space. So, yes. At times I'm very open spiritually, and I don't know why that is, because it's not like I can't quantify it or book in a time slot and say, on this day I'm going to be really open, and even perhaps would have been able to give professional psychic readings and earn a living from this, because I can't pencil it in when it will happen. It happens randomly, like that day in 2023 when I was just opened wide. Anyway, the spirit glided in on the heels of the young man as he arrived, because I was watching this young man into the hall where we were sitting, and then I saw the spirit literally walk or gliding on his heels. So maybe he considered the young man a threat. I don't know. The young man, wasn't threatening. He broke something accidentally, but that wasn't like a deliberate act, Anyway, it was a bit unusual, which is why I wrote about it. It was so unusual. He glided in on the heels of the young man as he arrived, and I had a sense that he was checking on our little circle to make sure we are kosher, as the venue was on hallowed grounds. Oh, Christchurch in St. Lucia. Okay. Couldn't remember the name of the church. I should remember it because Christchurch is also a city in New Zealand, but oh well. As soon as he saw I had witnessed him, he disappeared, I suppose satisfied that everything was copacetic. Anyway, we began the toning with Belinda's beautiful tone chimes, and Renee brought along her Koshi chimes, which were so gorgeous, I now want some too. Ahem. They're not cheap, those things, but they're delightful. I was listening to the sounds they made, and it was like a fairy waltz going off in my head. Lol. Koshi, Koshi. You can buy them on eBay. They're about $80 each, and they come in very different tones. Delightful. I'm going to buy some one day when I have a bit more spare moolah, and when will that be? Never, but I just think they're lovely. But then it's like a lot of things that I want. Once I get it, it just sits around. I don't even look at it. So maybe the magic was just that day experiencing them, and I don't need to buy them and own them. Yes, we'll go with that, psychedelic dreamer. One does not need to possess every lovely thing one experiences. Just saying. Mama T and Miss Five, that's both of my personas, my alter egos, got lost in that for a few minutes. Belinda played her handpan while we joined in with the chimes. We were sitting on the floor, and I had a sudden outbreak of coughing with my asthma just on arrival. It was fine before. So this is what I mean about somatizing. Like, if I was fine to suddenly have an asthma attack, it could be caused by a smell that was in the room, or it could be caused by dust, but it was just so full on and came out of nowhere that I was like, this is weird. Then later on, I somatized the most intense pain in my legs and feet with arthritis-type sensations, and even had the burning of a hot flash. My leg is still sore from the bruising it copped when I smashed up my dead, evil mother's hutch. So I assumed it was related to that, but even my toes ached on both feet. So, weird. So part of that pain would have been sitting cross-legged on the floor with probably pressing on a nerve with the bruised shin bone. Some of that would have been, nerve pain, which I experienced quite badly. But yeah, the asthma that came on suddenly and the hot and cold chills was a bit extraordinary. Later in the toning session, I also heard the name Freddie quite distinctly and emphatically in my head 4 or 5 times. I don't know who Freddie is. I asked the group, no one knew. But Bill suggested there is a cyclone called Freddie heading towards Madagascar, so it could be that. Then on driving home, I had an intense anxiety that I knew was not mine as I was heading home, and usually my nerves settle on the homeward bound drive, like a homing pigeon am I. Belinda had said I may get more downloads from spirit, as I had seen the man float into the hall. So I was not really focusing on that, but interestingly, later that evening, I had the song melody and lyrics, "Oh, I'm blinded by the light," in my head. I just ignored it, as I often get lyrics or melodies as messages, but this morning, as soon as I woke up, it was there again, which is a bit unusual, doesn't usually carry on to the next day, people. So I had to Google the lyrics to get the name of the song and garner its message. The song is Blinding Lights. It's one of my favourite songs too. Surprised I didn't recognise straight away which one it was. And I almost had to laugh. It's the 9th anniversary of hooking up with that vapid former lover who wreaked such devastation in my heart over the years, but who opened me up even more to my wild, fierce, determined, warrior goddess spirit as no man, no fucked up, perverted, callow man, callow mortal, is permitted to destroy me, ever. So the gods blew life back into my soul. Oh, I've got a really bad crick in my neck. Talking about somatising, it's literally going, feels like my neck's out of wonk. So the gods blew life back into my soul. Starting back in 2015 after my suicide attempt, then intensifying even more after my surviving, barely, the cholecystectomy in 2019. That's gallbladder surgery, people. No mail today. I wonder why my neck hurts today. Must have been lying funny on the pillow. That was when I truly hit the ground running, and only 3 weeks after, still in agony, I attended my first drumming circle run by Belinda and her husband Bill, and back then Richard Marler. So yes, that was my courage and determination and self-healing from that time forward. I still don't have a love partner, although men have seemed to flock to me in recent months, but I still don't trust in mortal men, and for very good reasons, tied up with keeping myself safe, sane, and pristine. I was able to assist that young Māori woman 2 weekends ago after she escaped from her own domestic violent abuser. So it reminded me that sometimes love is not enough and is too often instead life-threatening, dangerous, and heartless and hopeless. And there's more ways a man can kill you other than the 3 strangulations I had. You know, like Dave did a good number on me trying to kill me with the constant emotional, abuse that went on for years. And then I participated in that. My pity more, my mini death, because I loved too much, and it was sick on my part too. And I've had to have years of therapy to unpack it all and work out. Well, I still don't completely know what went wrong, except I chose a Machiavellian type. But I certainly hope I never fall in love with someone like that ever again, because I've done my apprenticeship of pain. I'm completely still rebuilding from ground zero after that. So, it's why it's kind of sweet that I have my little crush on Scott, and, because he's demonstrated over the years only sweetness and kindness towards me, which every woman deserves to be treated with sweetness and kindness, It's why I have platonic friends who I'm safe with, people, and sometimes I get a bit triggered or frightened or disturbed when I begin, move into the sexual realm of things, because every sexual partner I've ever had has tried to kill me on more than one level: financial, emotional, physically, sexually, using even my social sphere against me, like what Dave did and all his seedy fucking friends and relatives. I mean, it was completely evil what they did to me. Completely fucking evil. But here I am, rising above it every day in every way and opening up to love again. And that, my friends, is astonishing and miraculous, and just shows you the calibre of my heart, how I can heal from the most horrendous, ignoble horrors and start my life again. So yes, it was lovely to see Morris last night, because actually Morris, at that point in time years ago when I was at the casino, and Dave used to come and just stare malevolently with some floozy or his cousin or his friend Stan, really try and make me feel like some kind of freak, or just make me feel uncomfortable in my dance space that I'd been dancing at long before he came along, trying to drive me out, right? Morris would come and stand beside me, put his arm around me, and we'd dance together, and sometimes a little bit erotically, just to have a fuck you to society and everyone. Not that we ever went there, because he's far too young for me. He's a young man. It's ridiculous. But, you know, he was a loyal, loving friend to me, and yes, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I had that level of support in that toxic space. For 13 years I danced in that toxic space, mind you, because I was holding my own and not letting any bully drive me away. It took my dog to die. It took my dog to die for me to finally realise that that place was so fucking perverted and evil, to tell me I'm not 5-star enough just when my dog died, kick me in my face yet again when I was grieving my beautiful dog. That's what it took to get me to leave that space, because even I had to realise enough is enough. Like, for the love of all the gods and dogs and my own spirit and dignity, enough was enough. So anyway, so the spirits bless me with songs that remind me of Dave and his sadomasochistic, because what he was doing was actually quite sadomasochistic, quite frankly. I mean, he didn't really achieve anything by that except make himself look like a vicious idiot. Seriously. Sadomasochistic, Machiavellian gameplay. And I just sing along and dance and laugh in the face of idiosyncratic cruelties. And I was watching a video yesterday by Thomas Sheridan, who I don't always agree with everything he says. He's a bit transphobic and, you know, doesn't like Islam or Muslims or whatever. He's got his own biases. We all have as human beings. But he said something very interesting that my ears did perk up and I did take particular note of. He said that the most vicious people in the world, you know, that will really fuck you up and really try to destroy you, are those attached to the BDSM movement. You know, how does it, BDSM, forget what B stands for, domination, sadism, masochism, all those sick fucks, right? Bondage, domination, sadomasochism, sick fucks. Well, Dave made no secret that he was involved in BDSM, you know, thought he was cool. No, weak and a bully and vicious. So anyway, this Thomas Sheridan, he said, beware of anyone in the BDSM movement. He said they're usually by and large sick and depraved and so vicious, and they will get you in the most evil, innocuous kind of ways. You don't even know what's going on half the time, because they use their whole friends, and they'll use your own friends against you, which he did indeed do, you know. So I sat there listening to that and I was like, yeah, one of my texts I wrote to him some years ago when I was still engaging with him because I was still in love with him on some level, and I am not BDSM at all, which is astonishing because my then friend said I'm a natural dominatrix. Well, that may well very be true because I'm powerful and strong because I've had to survive so many monsters even in early childhood. But I'm not in that movement. I'm not involved in that kink. I don't like kink. I want an equal, a man I can sit and talk to, have a conversation with, and make passionate love to. But if a man wants me to crawl around and slather around like a fucking victim, my blood runs cold. And by the same token, if I have to constantly dominate a man because he's so fucking inept and weak and pathetic, that doesn't turn me on either. My blood equally runs cold. So I wrote to him, Dave, I said, I'm not interested in your BDSM group and your sick fucking kink and your fucking sick tactics. That's not the person I am. So if that's what you thought you were going to do, dominate me on some level with your sick fucking perverted ideas, well, you can think again. Anyway, he actually backed off after that. He got the message loud and clear. But this Thomas Sheridan saying that in a video yesterday, beware anyone that is in that BDSM scene. Same goes for Richard Marler. He was into that kink, you know. I'm sorry, I get that it's therapeutic for some people who are so very deeply damaged that they work out their therapy that way, but that's not for me, you know. Don't bring your weakness and your spite and your viciousness like a dead trophy to a cat to my door and expect me to accommodate it. I'll do what I do with every dead rat my cat's ever brought to my door. I'll pick you up by your tail and throw you in the fucking bin or bury you. I find it nauseating and disgusting. But, you know, this man lacked enough couth and intelligence to work out that I was not participating in that. I had to actually tell him, I'm not part of your gameplay, so fuck off, right? And I do just sing along and dance and laugh in the face of idiosyncratic cruelties. And I have to admit, I do despise weak, nasty, vicious, little, small-minded, bigoted, putrid little men. I can't abide vicious, troublemaking, disturbed people. Why is that? I was raised by them. I can identify them now. I can actually smell them coming because I've been put through too much in my life. Anyway. My angels have my back, and they will only allow a truly good, kind, noble man to partner with me ever again. And as of even date a year later, I still haven't partnered with anyone. And there's a reason for that too. I'm waiting to find out whose heart is truly mine, who's truly genuine and decent and honouring of me, my mind, body, spirit and soul, who is worthy of being my man. Haven't found that person yet. I mean, I found someone I like and love very much, but he's married, so it's not that he's not worthy of being my man, it's that he's married. And if he weren't married, there would still be significant problems because the man works all the time. He'd have no time for me at all. So There's another issue I've identified. But the main issue is that he's married. I'm not going to step on any woman's toes or ruin her beautiful life. For what? For an affair or a quick frottering that goes nowhere, and then I'd be left feeling cheapened and degraded. Can't do that. Can't do that. It's too awful. But when you fall in love with people and they fall in love with you too, it's still a beautiful thing, and I'm still rejoicing in that sweetness and love between us. Like, don't get me wrong, not completely giving up on love. I'm just building fences around it as a protective barrier for both of us so that nothing interferes in his beautiful life with his beautiful wife, and nothing interferes in my emotional, spiritual, physical stability, living my best life in freedom and peace and comfort and ease, being able to lie in bed and feel good about myself because I haven't broken any contracts with the gods, which is a promise I made, that I would not lie in bed with a man again unless he totally, absolutely demonstrates in thoughts, words, deeds and actions and emotions that he loves me and chooses me to be his partner. Because anything else, you're just selling yourself out cheap to some, for what? Some arsehole that stalked me for years at the casino and Irish Murphys and even at the Elephant. He had no loving intentions towards me at all. Thought it was some fucking game. Well, the only way to win a game, babies, is not to play. But his demons and my demons are well aware there's still a spiritual connection, that he cropped up again in December around Hanukkah, Christmas time. There's still some kind of bind between us, but it's a very, very thin thread now because I let go of all that deep love that I used to hold so precious in my broken, kintsugi'd heart, like it was almost a matter of life and death, holding on to the love for that man. It was not normal, people. Even my psychiatrist said this is the most unusual love affair I've ever seen in any of my patients. The way he plays you, and he's so ambivalent and cold, and yet the hold you have over each other, it was bizarre. But I know what I deserve in life now, and I know what I want from life. And I want a man like my friend Scott, who was available to me sexually and emotionally, mentally, physically, who is as sweet and romantic and heartfelt as he is. That's what I want for my future life partner. So Scott has been a shining example of manhood for me, of what I want out of life. But a man who can actually be with me because he's not triangulated or trammeled by his work. So I repeat that last sentence I read out. My angels have my back, and they will only allow a truly good, kind, noble man to partner with me ever again. I have had quite enough monsters. May I merit under the ever-watchful ayin of the Ein Sof Or. Ein Sof Or is primordial consciousness. To be thoroughly cleansed and purified of the stale, dead, non-committal, treacherous, diabolical lovers. And may the one that is my Beshert meant for me, arrive in my life in such a way that I am not spooked, put off, or feel the need to cut and run. It's a hard one, given my complex trauma issues. But I have faith in the Holy One and his benevolent angels and or fae and gods in all manifestations. With or without you, I will survive, I will thrive, I will dance, I will rejoice, and I will find my niche in life and be surrounded by real, authentic love. So mote it be, and so it is. And here we are 1 year later, after Beauregard's death in August, I started dancing after the viciousness at the casino. Only 4 days later, 5th of August, I started dancing at the Brooklyn Standard, and I'm accepted and tolerated and included, and indeed I feel loved there. I feel loved and treated with honour and sweetness and kindness. So thank you, Brooklyn Standard, and thank you, Scott, for facilitating that little niche for the wild, shamanic, tribal dancing Tanya to have her little place where she can dance wildly and mosh to all the hard rock songs and reach catharsis in my spirit and release all those old ancient traumas and inspire others to release their traumas too, so I can allow my true love partner to come to me and say, "You're the one, Tanya, and I mean it, and I'm going to demonstrate it, and this is how we're going to go about things, and prove to me that it's real and authentic this time." And how will they prove that? Consistency, consistent love towards me, honour and integrity, sweetness and kindness. Showing up, keeping up with me, maintaining loyalty and faithfulness to me. Anyway, time will tell who that person is. I said in the video the other day, it may take me by surprise even, and I'm feeling a little bit surprised already, almost as if my spirit already knows that this person is coming. It's a bit weird, people, but it's a nice weird. It's a happy weird, unlike the fucking weirdness that happened with Dave Charles for years. It was just crass. Oh, I continue reading from 2023. I'm so hot. See, I've got the aircon on. There's no need for me to have a hot flush, and yet I'm sweating and I'm clammy and it's probably just a hot flush, though I'm having them more often because I'm so exhausted all the time. No, something just tapped me on the head, so it spirits with me. All right, I acknowledge you. You have to back off my energy. I'm doing a reading. If you seriously want to communicate, I'll do a trance drumming later. But don't interrupt my readings, please. Oh, I also heard the malfeasance is over, which felt like the energy and voice of my dead, evil Israeli ex-lover, David Davidson. So I replied sardonically, I bloody well hope so, then pushed that energy away, which felt like it, or they, were flapping with frustration, as they had a lot more to say, but I do not engage with the spirit of that man. So interesting, I just had the tap and I don't think it's necessarily him though, but that last year it was him. He had a distinctive accent and distinctive voice, so it was actually quite astonishing. Especially when he jumps into my auric field uninvited. I note he usually jumps into friends or family or that evil medium I had foolishly befriended that channeled him without my permission. I had not gone to her for a psychic reading. That was that medium that said Auschwitz was beautiful and the perfect thing for the edification of all Jewish souls so that they could evolve into the spirit world. Completely evil and perverted she is. And anyone that espouses those views in the alternative psychic spiritual movement, I'll tell you what you really are. You are Nazis. And filthy and utterly depraved and fucking disgusting. But anyway, she hadn't revealed her true colours till later on, a few months later on after I'd visited her. But at that point in time when I was visiting her, we're having a very lovely afternoon, had no idea she was a Nazi, by the way, he jumped into her and tried to communicate with me through her. And I said, I don't communicate with that entity. I didn't come here for a reading. I came here for a social visit as a new friendship. I came here to support you when you were distressed about your daughter possibly being forcibly vaccinated against her will. And I came here to encourage you that there will be a war if that happens, because I will start it. She looked at me. She said, oh, thank you, Tanya. I said, no. I came here to support you and your daughter. No other reason. Didn't come here for a psychic reading because she's a professional psychic and charges quite a lot of money, and I was conscious that I don't have money to pay for such things, and it would be a boundary violation and inappropriate. So what happens? Davidson boundary violated by jumping into her. So not communicating with that entity. She was shocked. Oh, he wants you to talk to him nicely. I said, no, he doesn't deserve nice communication from me after what he put me through 23 years ago. I said, he deserves nothing from me. I owe him nothing, not even my time, my energy, or a polite conversation between him via a medium. Anyway, he does try to communicate with me directly now, and from time to time I do indulge it. I think he's trying to make amends for all the shit he put me through when he was alive, but what's he going to do from the spirit world? Is he going to send me money? Is he going to bring me a decent man when he himself was so evil and indecent and awful? What would he know about the calibre of a human man's spirit? He lacked that much when he was alive. So no, I don't need his help. I don't need his assistance. He can't possibly undo all the harms he did to me. Certainly not as a discarnate spirit. Anyway, it freaks me out sometimes because I did ask the gods to assist me, and they send him, my enemy. Like, what the fuck? You kind of have to laugh, don't you? But there is a demonic force running our planet now. I agree with Thomas Sheridan on that one. And I have to remain very circumspect about which discarnate entities I communicate with, because I have no way of knowing if they are from the light or if they are indeed harmful and demonic. And there's a lot of them running around in human form on our planet right now. The lights are on, but nobody's home. And they literally get walked into and used like meat golems. And it's fucking terrifying, people. I'm seeing it a lot. And I don't know if it's as a consequence of the last 4 years, the regime we've lived through, the epoch, as I call it, with all the altering of literally our blood. But I don't know if it's because of that or if it's just there's some evil force trying to take control. But I won't be indulging anything or anyone that is unholy or unkind or ignoble or dirty or depraved, like I had with those entities that I befriended and actually had sexual relationships with at the casino 10 years ago. It's funny how I was put through all that training ground, 6 years before the COVID epoch began. I'm often the canary down the mine, and the gods prepare my spirit ahead of time, knowing that I would have to be very, very vigilant and very, very aware of everything around me, which it's been a very difficult time for me. The past 10 years, not just the past 4, but the past, well, let's be real here. Every epoch of my life has been fucking difficult. But the last, really since my mother died in 2010, it was like Pandora's box opened and all hell broke loose. And it's been a long time gaining equilibrium and recalibrating from that. Almost 14 years since my mother died. But God is great, life is life, and love is the law, babies. Don't ever forget it. The love you poured into ignorant, putrid, dirty, time-wasting, psychic vampirizing, low-life scum was never wasted, because someone up there sees your true heart and soul and will bring you your true loves when you heal enough that you can recognize them for who they are at the appointed time. So, I must have been wide open psychically on Sunday. I will need to make sure to close circle effectively next time to protect my soul and energy meridians. And then I posted the link to the song Blinding Lights, which is a beautiful song. I'm blinded by the light. Love is blind sometimes, too bloody blind. That was a choice I made, to remain blind to it for a long time, because the reality was too awful for my mind to contemplate. And when my mind did finally accept that I'd been played by a vicious, evil dog, I tried to kill myself, because my mind couldn't take that I'd allowed yet another monster into my body, mind and spirit. But here I am. Eight and a half years later, living my best life in spite of all of it, and even in love again. Oh, sweetness. It's a kiss for me into the camera. by the way. I'm a courageous, fierce, self-determined, wild, deeply loving woman who deserves to be loved fully and nobly and honourably and decently in a loving, committed relationship that is mutually exclusive, loyal and faithful to me, surrounded by our beautiful friends and family who recognise our deep love for each other and honour that love. Not like when I was in love with Dave, how every fucking imp in the Brisbane metropolitan area came to those spaces to sabotage. It was evil what went on, purest of evil. But at the end of the day, I can thank those saboteurs now, can't I? Saved me from a worse fate. Absolutely. 20th of February 2022, repost of a blog I made 3 years ago. Trigger warning, child sexual abuse, Prince Andrew, the filthy, treacherous monarchy, which is now crumbling after the COVID epoch. They've all got sudden cancers and turbo cancers and, oh wow, you know, this is what happens when you don't protect your soul and your body. You go along with other people's narratives. Just saying. But everyone in the world was brainwashed. Everyone. It's complete fifth generation psyop. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. What has happened to my planet, my people, my humans? Terrifying. I write, arise and shine the divine feminine, time to clean house. And that video is up on YouTube, entitled The Rising of the Divine Feminine in the Face of Global Systemic Abuse. And I think I made that video before COVID was even a thing, if I remember correctly. I think that video dates back to 2019. So I might be wrong. I might have made it during this epoch, but oh well, I can go back and check on it later, but if you're interested, you'll have a look at it. I was incensed with rage that day. It was powerful. The water coming out of my faucet in the kitchen has a very strong smell. I am worried it has been contaminated. Yuck. So that was in 2020. 2022. Right, okay. th of February 2021. Pretty thoughts. Unfortunately, my maternal line were violent, narcopathic, evil, berserkers, and paedophile enablers. I mean, the whole fucking lot of them. The only seed they planted was hate. Hate of the female they learned as handmaidens to their masters. You can see why the BDSM movement was never going to go good with me. As I find those kind of people absolutely vile. To heal myself, I had to be the one person in my family to cleave to my gods and to the sacred truth. To honour my only real mother, Gaia, and strive to expect nothing from, or even better, forget the rest. Survival came at a high price, isolation, marginalisation, loss of healthy, sustaining love partnerships. Would I do it all again? Yes. Only I pray that in my next incarnation, I will be birthed into a decent, kind, loving family who sustain and nurture me without so much cumulative trauma. I was thinking this morning about my inability to find a sincere lover and or partner. Then I smiled. I have been shot to pieces since early childhood, and no matter how much therapy, dancing, self-healing, I remain a leaky colander of cascading traumas that few can comprehend, never mind actually love. I tried plugging up the holes with so much faith and self-love, but always they burst forth. So I have learned to live life as a powerful force field of flowing light energy through all my exposed gaps, which means that, yet again, few can stand in my light streaming. God knows, in time, there will be someone whose own light body perfectly matches mine, and those missing parts will meld into one, like a perfect fit and a perfect, wondrous, adoring union. I am still unwell today. Back is still tender and not much movement. Fatigued from a week of errant insomnia. Upset tummy this morning from the copious chocolate I imbibed yesterday as some weird sort of self-flagellation disguised as comfort. Delicious though, smiley face. Oh God, I could do with some chocolate right now. I've run out. I haven't had chocolate for a while, and I'm kind of hungry for chocolate. I've got to go and do groceries today too, so I'll pick up some chocolate when I'm out. Or maybe I'll do the groceries tomorrow. But I've got to get some fruit for Charlie. She hasn't had any fruit for a while. It's not good. Actually, I haven't had fruit for a while either. It's not good for me either. I had a quiet day but felt so awful I went back to bed for a while, then managed a short walk around the block for Charlie and Beauregard's sake. I stopped to say hello to Robin and little Coco. Bobo was happy to see them both. They walked us home. I need to gather up my physical and emotional resources next weekend and go dancing somewhere. My body feels like it's just shutting down as it misses the dancing and jiving. I will have to decide where my next spot will be, but first I need to get stronger again. Today is the 29th friendship anniversary that Jared and I met. Time has flown. So when was that? When I say 2021? So 3 years later, it's 32 years today. I'm a bit worried I can't get hold of my friend. He's not answering the fucking phone again. And because he's diabetic, I worry he's slipped into some fucking diabetic coma or something. So it's not cool when he doesn't answer the phone. It really freaks me the fuck out. I even have considered driving around there, seeing what's going on, but it's possible that he's got doctor's appointments or he's busy, and I mustn't worry. I'm not his mother. He's a grown man. Doesn't need me to be helicopter mothering him. But I am worried when he doesn't. 2 days I haven't been able to get him to answer the phone. So I feel tortured when that happens. You know, a day or two's okay though, but if it goes on, I will get seriously pissed off, which he knows now. He knows I don't like being tortured like that causing me anxiety, not knowing what's going on. Communicate, people. Flick a text. Takes a nanosecond to say, I'm okay, just busy, or I don't want to talk to you now because whatever reasons. Just be an adult and fucking communicate. For all I know, he's lying there dead in his house. No one would know. Because like me, he lives alone. Well, I guess his family probably check on him regularly, so there is that. So I'm overthinking it, and I'm over worrying, and I'm wasting energy on nonsense right now. It's a form of stealing energy from me, not responding to texts. Here I write, Lynn and I, 32 years. So, yeah, we've been friends for 35 years now, Lynn and I. 34 going on 35, because I arrived on the 1st of August 1988, and I met Lynn round about October, November. So, no, it is 35 years. This year will be 36 years. Well, anyway, time is marching on, people. I have long friendships with people. Long friendships. If you treat me with love and respect and honour, you'll be in my life a long time. And if you treat me like crap, you'll be gone in a nanosecond. Which is, I don't even understand why I kept Dave going so long when he was clearly treating me like crap, right? Oh well. Some things are meant to be. Help build my life back up, me realising that I was acting like a fucking gimp and I needed to pull myself together and never allow a man to have that level of bullshit control. Well, he didn't control me because I wouldn't allow it, but that level of spiritual connection to me must never happen again. You will not ever diminish my spirit. I have spoken. Margaret and I, almost 47 years. I will be 56 in April. Well, I'll be 59 in April now. Startling, amazing, incredible. So many things I missed out on in this life. So much still to aspire to. Jared laughed when I told him it's been 29 years. We are both feeling the encroachment of the Time Lords, but all good. With good friends, time is irrelevant anyway. Only the love matters. To you, Jared, happy friendship anniversary. 32 years today. Answer the fucking phone, though. You better not be lying there dead. I'll be livid. 20th February 2020. Beauregard on Mama T alert duty. Good dog. I'm sure he's not dead because we're so spiritually connected, Jared and I, in a positive way, that I would sense if something had happened to him. I'm fairly certain of that. He would come to me like all my beloved ones come to me when they transition. Some of them not so beloved, like Davidson, who was an enemy. Strange noise out there. It takes a strange sort of masochism to boldly go where one is not welcome and speak one's truth. I expected abuse from the community stalwarts. Yes, I did, but not from strangers. I hope they got their pecking order sorted. If not, the Holy One that kept them alive due to great and severe miracles. Their amazing parents surviving the Shoah. The same God that keeps me alive, often against my own will, had some deep reckoning or teaching in that befouled experience. I wonder what that was. I'm going to find out in due course, as God and I are not always on speaking terms, when He literally throws me into dangerous, toxic environments, so I get upset and angry as, after all, I am only one woman on the fringes of society, with a keen mind and a 9-carat golden kintsugi heart. I used to claim more purity with impunity, but I get too angry and disgusted by other humans these days. Let the smiting fall where it must. Maybe Lady Death will claim me at last. Sighs, at least I tried. This is me still fairly fucking livid about the abuse I experienced at the Shoah meeting. Disgraceful it was. The treasure found in rat's nest underneath floorboards of Sydney Museum. Reminds me of the rats when I slept over at Courtney's place. God, it was feral. Even my dog was freaked out. The rats were almost as big as her. She was a little Pomeranian. She was about this big and the rats were about that big. It was astonishing, people. Then he also let termites eat the entire front landing. Fucking idiot. Well, he was stoned all the time, so he wasn't living in the real world, was he? Really wasn't. He was not engaging with the rest of us, I can tell you that much. Worked hard, a very hard worker, workaholic too, but he was never fucking compos mentis. I am so mentally exhausted, but I have a feeling that tomorrow is going to be a good day. I will strive to make it so. I am glad Miriam, that treacherous bitch, but anyway, I am glad Miriam cancelled my appointment today. I am still a mess of huge pustules where the skin doctors zapped the cancers. The ones on my forehead and thigh have burst, but the rest are just huge. I picked a bad time to get my skin zapped when I'm already feeling raw and ragged after recent events. But all good. My heart and mind will heal. My skin will heal for now. I have another checkup in 6 months. I am zealously slapping on Vaseline as per the doctor's orders. I can't see it doing anything really, as it is a petrochemical, but I suppose it is coating the pustules to avoid any further infection. Yay! Pop goes the Tanya. I had a wry moment when I thought how many of my enemies would be delighting in my current state of pustulence and hope I would just die. But I am bursting with vitality in spite of my skin cancers and chronic exhaustion. So on we go into the victorious glory of the next decade. And it shall be victorious and glorious. I shall make it so, one day at a time. I posted another article. Train derails north of Melbourne with reports of possible trapped and injured passengers. This was in today's date, 20th February 2020. My comment was, nothing but murder and mayhem, as though bushfires, flooding, extreme heat, drought, and a society gone mad is not enough. So sorry to share more horror, but this is what we are facing. 2 people dead in this train wreck. Rest in peace. Here I write. In Australia, but especially Queensland, mate, if you sport a vagina and no one likes you, you get vilified and attacked. By women as well as by men. If you try to get support from the police, you get told to stay home and take up knitting. They actually said that to me, the animals. If you have small children and you try to escape, you get burnt to death in your car. Helen Clark and her 3 babies, right? Monstrous it was. Then the police spokesman will blame you because old mate played footy or some fucked up shit, so he was driven to the edge. ABC News, I shit you not. They actually said that as a media release. He was driven to the edge. No, he was a murderer of his wife and children. But our police justify that. The sick cunts. I barely survived my homegrown terrorism, only to be insulted and condescended to by community stalwarts in the Brisbane Jewish community I'm speaking of. Where was the respect or protection for me and my young daughters when Israeli men went rabid? Where were Logan police, having a laugh at my expense? As were the QBJD board members last Wednesday night at a meeting to promote, oh the irony, tolerance. Instead, utter misogyny and foulness directed at not just myself, accused of victimhood by some vile creep of a woman, but another woman who was spoken to in a condescending way because of her alleged wealth. Disgusting, shameful. Everyone was in it for the ride. What is their next parlour game, I wonder? This is real life, people, across all faiths and classes and races. Men have gone berserk. The government, via Queensland Police, enables and endorses it. Time to rise up, sisters. No more silence. Save yourselves and save each other. Avoid the aunts that protect and enable vile, abusive men. Stand up and be counted, or literally die. I just took the bow for a quick walk around the block. I stopped for a chat with a young woman who just had a baby, a girl, smiley face. She told me there's been a lot of problems with break-ins and car theft in the street. She said one man ran into the Whites Hill Reserve and was chased by police helicopters. I was amazed. I've had no dramas here. Perhaps being on the corner in full view from the street frontage and Bobo barking at everyone has gifted me a little bit of protection. I am grateful. The world has gone completely mad, but I have managed to keep relatively safe. I also noticed that my young friend on Sapphire Street, who also lived in Housing Commission, has moved out. I hope she has gone to a better situation, as she had young kids and said she had a terminal disease. I mean, I hope she has not died. She seemed okay last I saw her, but appearances can be deceiving. So I am a bit worried for her. She was a fierce little warrior goddess like me. I thought about asking her neighbours, but they were not outside, so let it go. Not really my business anyway. 20th of February 2019. Wow. The supermoon has had a profound effect on me. I worked all day yesterday, frenziedly rubbing oil into the uber dusty furniture in the back bedroom, then washing and polishing all the trinket boxes, china ornaments, etc. Then rearranging books as I had made room weeks ago when I took books to the charities. I wore a sarong as it was so humid yesterday, and I had to take 3 cold showers and ultimately wash my hair as I was wrung out like a dish mop with sweat. Around 5 p.m. I got dressed in actual clothes and took Bobo and Charlie for a walk. I had to hobble along as my feet were swollen and aching from the heat. I have had sore feet for almost 2 weeks now. I think that should say for almost over 2 weeks now. Oh well, anyway. I also got a hacksaw and shortened a bolt so I could put 2 handles back on the TV unit outside, as I was overcome with perfectionism to the point of obsession yesterday. I hung up a picture on the bedroom wall, a nice inlaid abalone lacquered one that I had tucked behind a hutch. Tucked behind a hutch since 2008. I had given another lovely shell one to Lucy. It seemed a shame to not put it on display, use it or lose it. Around 7 p.m. I was overcome with exhaustion after a week of decluttering, schlepping furniture and power cleaning. So I sat down on the couch and put my feet up, but something would not let me settle. So I got the idea to go through Crystal's acting portfolio collection and cut out all her reviews and put them in 2 albums I had previously begun for her years ago. So that kept me occupied while watching spooky shows on YouTube until almost 5 a.m. I did not have enough photo corners or glue dots, so I just put everything into chronological order and laid them between the glassine pages of the album or in the plastic sleeves, so that is a job to be completed soon. I finally went to bed at 5 a.m. and literally fought sleep for a while, even though I was beyond exhaustion. I just woke up at 8:35 a.m., fully clear in the head and energized. What the fuck? 3 hours sleep. This is hypomania. My eyes are literally burning and my feet are tired, but everything else wants to go, 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 like it's some kind of emergency. Ho-hum. Letting go of stuff feels good. Sorting the back bedroom feels good. I still have work in there to do, as I need to clean and polish the desk and pull down the faded velvet curtains from my mother and chuck them out. I'm excited because I bought a new blind for that back room, which is finally arriving. They said within a week. So I'll have a blind in there again. That'll be nice. I've had to, in the meantime, hang up an old blanket for curtaining, right? Oh, it grinds my gears when I don't have my house perfect. But it's weird because I don't have blinds in the 2 front windows here in my lounge, and it doesn't bother me. But I guess I spend more time in there working on jewellery, and I just want it to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be worth it. So many people take second best, but I won't. have anything less. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, there's a lot of things I need to perfect still, like getting blinds in these front windows one day. But they're expensive to buy new, and I'm paying that one in the back bedroom that's arriving soon. I'm actually paying it off people. Because I tried to get one second hand, they didn't have the right sizes, and it's not easy because my windows are not the standard width. So shit happens, people. Shit happens. And I just have to work with what I can work with my limited funds, right? I still have vacuuming and mopping to do. The kitchen, hutch and other furniture needs a good dust and polish too. I feel crazy with overwhelm just thinking about it. Then when it's all done, I need to do it all again more frequently so it doesn't get away on me. It's now 9:11 a.m. and I am so tired. I just realised I still have 2.5 years of legal documents from that nefarious, soul-murdering will dispute to go through and cull. But that will be triggering, so everything is still on the top shelf of one of the bookshelves. I culled a lot over the years, but there is still more to do, which for some reason I felt I wanted to keep the documentation for posterity. Now I am over it all. Maybe I subconsciously nurse that great wound as I fear another court battle one day, so want to keep everything in case. But it's a blight on my psyche and a horcrux from hell. Pardon me. So I will gird my heart to sort through it and imagine all that paperwork gone will free space for more books or other assorted clutter that Mamati hoarder creature will no doubt bring in. And I do want to replace my magical occult library, but I realised I don't have room on my walls for any more things to climb up the walls. So I want to get my occult library back, but where am I going to put all the books, people? It's intense. Also, I must sleep more today, as 3 hours sleep when exhausted with asthma and heat-sensitive arthritic joints will make me utterly mad. Update 20th February 2022. I finally burnt the will dispute in 2020, then my teddy bear gifted by the family pedophile on 27th of April 2021, which catalysed a great healing and opened me up to even more creativity. The gods might be crazy, but they knew what they were doing in tweaking my spirit, even though I asked them to go more gently with me as I was working myself almost to death while achieving very little, running on my hamster wheel to nowhere. But I am starting to shift onto another concentric groove. Better timeline, better muzak, more hope and better manifestations. True love still eludes me. Actually, it doesn't. It's here in my life now. It's just not someone I can have a sexual partnership with or cohabit with because of our situations, but the love is real and it is here, and I acknowledge that to my own heart, body, mind and spirit. Only the gods will allow me that perfect alignment and grace and manifestation of a deeply loyal, devoted, caring partner. Size. Beauregard is maximising his potential and enjoying the cool air from the portable water evaporating aircon that I had briefly until it stopped working after only about a week or two. For fuck's sake. I've had a productive day with only 3 hours sleep. Sooner or later I will crash and burn, but the house is getting cleaner and I am getting tired. And here's my boy. Looks like a teddy bear. Looks like a teddy bear. I'm glad I was always taking so many photos of him and the cats, because now I have these sweet little reminders of him. Sometimes it's bittersweet, a bit of a knife in my chest because I miss him so much, but well, I'm glad I have those memories. 20th February 2018. I woke up feeling happy. My family visited me yesterday. My Jared and my Crystal and little mate Harvey. My leg was hurting bad and I was rather hypomanic from exhaustion. But Crystal cooked me a beautiful Thai curry and Jared brought wine and nibbles and we lay in the hammocks for a while and later practiced a bit of ukulele and I showed off my knitting. Crystal gathered some more of her stuff and sorted some under the house. She sewed me a beautiful bag to take to Coochie Mudlow or Byron. Clever girl. And I wear it on my walks when I go around the block, in case I find feathers or interesting things on my walk. And she even did the painting of the little butterfly, which is sideways, so it's a bit hard to make out. But anyway, that was very sweet and I do use it regularly. So _20th of February 2017. Just watching the council workmen compacting my junk into a big truck. Very satisfying, letting go of clutter and crap. A giant purge. 20th of February 2016. I have just finished dragging, it must be nearly due for curbside collection here again too. I have just finished dragging old pallets out to the curbside collection. I paid the neighbourhood boys to help me carry the door to my backyard to recycle as a table. We ripped the old table boards off. I'm so tired I'm recycling my recycling from a few years ago to use as an outdoor table. Waste not, want not. Oh dear God. Dear Goddess. I told the boys I would keep them in mind next time I have odd jobs to do. Lol. They were happy with their $5. I unscrewed the caster wheels I had put on the pallet. I will reuse them on something in the house like old drawers or furniture so I can move things easier. It took me a while to unscrew them as the screws had rusted, but with WD-40 and my temper, it worked out all right. I also rescued the expensive steel plates I had screwed into the outdoor table when I fixed it with Kev, lol, 2007. The never-ending bucket of sangria we called the bucket of doom as the booze just kept growing exponentially like a magic brew. We were drunk for 3 days and Kev and Jared helped me strengthen the outdoor table we got in the curbside collection that year. It lasted just over 8 years. Not bad for off the side of the road. Time to manifest a new one. It was a wonderful big outdoor timber outdoor table, big round one, fit 12 people around it. And we got the chairs, and it came just at the right time when I had my friend here visiting from England and friends from Pal Talk. We all came and had the first and last real party I had at my place, right? And the sangria the bucket of doom. Kev said it, the bucket of bliss. It just, in the end, it fermented and went off after 3 days, but we had a fabulous time. We had that, it was like the Hanukkah miracle, the oil lasting 8 days. That bucket lasted days, and we were drunk for 3 days, all 12 of us. It was fabulous. I still don't know how that happened. I suspect one of them was sneaking down to the bottle and adding booze to it, right? Could not possibly have lasted that long otherwise. Anyway, 20th of February 2015. I will be going to the doctor next week. Ankle still no better. Grr. And here's my little Mooshki, my little Mooshu. He's long gone, my little sweetheart. But that's our Mooshu. (2:48 p.m. Woke up at 2, let chooks out, have eaten yogurt. Mooshu stuck his head in the empty container and licked the inside. Loved it. Now resting my foot again. No dancing this weekend. I might have to take up yoga instead. Stretch those torn muscles. Lots of rain again, but the garden loves it, although my dragon fruits will be a write-off again. Grr. They're blooming at the moment, but you need to cross-pollinate them so they won't fruit, but they are actually blooming. Really long brown-coloured snake with spots on my front staircase wrapped around one of my house stumps. I tried to get photos, but they are not working out. Lynn has a friend who knows how to catch snakes on the way. Can I say, eek? I have to keep the cats inside. Mooshu is a perfect mouthful. The snake might be what killed Mischief last week, like it might have poisoned him, but couldn't get into the coop. I hope it didn't get Tabitha and Elvira this evening. They were my other hens. He doesn't have any huge lumps, so hopefully he'll be taken away before he kills my hens. Big thank you to Aaron, Danny and Lynn. The 3-metre long carpet snake has been caught by Aaron and is in transit to the Redlands now. Phew, he was very pretty, but not my favourite kind of pet to keep in my garden. I feel sure he was after the possums, or maybe even my chooks. 20th of February 2014. Mammary screen done for another 2 years. I was quite amused by the sudden thought, mid-squish, that there is something very sad about the only time my lovely boobs get fondled is by a mammogram technician. I mean, really? What the fuck? Laughing my ass off. Lying in bed with insomnia. That hasn't happened for a while. Took 25 milligrams of Seroquel. That should knock me out. 20th February 2013. Finally going to GP today. Sick of having bad asthma, insomnia and being unwell. Even had bad arthritis in my bad knee and legs yesterday. Glad the rain has given us a brief reprieve and the sun is out, albeit it is windy. I went to sleep at 3:30 and just finally woke up at 11 a.m. Been drifting in and out of a light sleep all this time. No rest at all for my mind, but at least my body got a rest. This bout of insomnia has lasted for over 2 weeks now. Combined with our asthma, it's amazing I can think at all. My Auntie Sylvia Shine. Wish you better. I too can't breathe. Talk about panic. The weather does not help. Just try and stay calm. Love, Sylvia. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Get better soon, Sylvia. I had to put myself on prednisone, which makes me batshit crazy, people. prednisones and does weird things to my brain. 20th of February 2012. I had a lovely day and night with Crystal and Jared. We met at Bulimba and saw My Week with Marilyn. Then we had a delicious dinner at the Ceylon, Sri Lanka, for fuck's sake. Can't pronounce it. Ceylon? Curry House. Then we caught a ferry back to Crystal's. You can see I'm tired and I'm fading out, people. Then we caught a ferry back to Crystal's house to hang out, then back home. Crystal leaves for Thailand on Wednesday. Woohoo. 20th of February 2010. Sylvia Shine. Hi Tanya. So sorry about your mum. I hope they're not going to put her through the hip replacement. Why can't they leave her in peace? Suppose they want to use her as a guinea pig. My thoughts are with you and of course your mum. Good luck. Love, Sylvia. Kiss, 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 kiss. Me. Hi Sylvia. Mum is still battling the E. coli bacteria in her blood. I thought she would pass away yesterday or last night, so I stayed all day and overnight and left there at 12:30 today because I was overtired and getting a tad hysterical and needed to get home so I can take my medications and sleep. I'm devastated I might not be able to get there when she passes. Thanks for the lovely thoughts. Love, Tanya. And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. And I'm very weary today. I need to go to the shops, and you know what? It's not going to happen. I feel like hell right now. My eyes are literally dry and burning, and I feel wrung out. So I'm going to be gentle with myself, and maybe I'll get to the shops later, maybe I won't. In the meantime, as per usual, I will survive and I will thrive in all my undertakings. Much love from Titania's realm at Sacred Space. Have a beautiful day, people, and as usual, remember to love the ones that love you back wholeheartedly and truly and sweetly and kindly and with purity and sweetness. And love your lovers that, treat you with kindness and honour and integrity. Make love, not war, people. Hold the line, though. Never ever quit. Never ever cede. Never ever yield to the oppressors. And never ever 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 let the bastards grind you down, because the state I'm in now is from years of being ground down from the most ignoble, lackluster, pathetic, weak cunts. They have indeed ground me down. But also it's part of the ageing process, and my bladder that's, been out of order for many, many years now is grinding me down, and at the end of the day I will be ground down and I will eventually pass from this mortal coil. But I'm striving every day to hold my head up high, keep making my videos, keep speaking my truth, keep living my truth. And on Fridays when I go out, enjoying my wild shamanic, life-affirming, soul-affirming, edifying dance, surrounded by people who truly do respect and love me and care for me, and immersed in the music and the joy and the creativity. So love to my beautiful ones. I'll be seeing you on Friday. Looking forward to it. And love to my YouTube audience who are on this journey with me, watching me heal myself and rebuild my spirit and my mana And hopefully I inspire some of you too, as I'm inspired by others. God's bless. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the space-time continuum, people of Earth and all other interdimensional entities of love, light, truth and holiness.